Hey, what's going on, everybody? In this video, talking about NFL all day, I found a really good tweet thread from the SVP of marketing for NFL all day and NBA Top Shots and Dapper. So, wanted to share a bunch of these answers that he gave to some really good questions that people asked, and then also talk a little bit about burning in NFL all day, which is pretty cool what they're doing now with burning that we saw on a pack drop last week. And also, if you didn't check out my last video about a crafting burning challenge on NBA Top Shot, definitely check that one out. It'll be linked in the description and at the end of this video as well. But for this one, talking all about NFL all day. So the first thing I wanted to get into is the burning here. So you could see basically what they did was, if you opened up one of these packs, which were called a hot drop for the Super Wildcard Weekend, they're $49 per pack, and you get 3 moments in each. And if you did not like the pack you got, basically, if you figured out it probably wasn't worth $49, you could burn all 3 of the moments you got, and you would get a credit back of, I believe, $35. I don't see actually where it says the dollar amount, but I believe it was $35 back. So it is right here on the blog post. If you burn all of them, you got $35 back that you could spend if you figured your moments weren't worth that much, and a lot of them really weren't, which we'll look at in a second. But that was pretty cool. And then you saw that they also announced that the burning ran smoothly, and they burned nearly 1,400 moments out of this Super Wildcard Weekend. So wanted to look really quickly at this one right here. So this is one of the Super Wildcard Weekend moments, and it's just $4. So likely this one was burned unless someone pulled it with a pretty good rare. And this one's out of 8,500. There's nowhere where it really says how many are burned. Unless you guys know, definitely leave a comment down below. But what I could kind of get from this is there's 910 remaining in packs, it says on here. And then looking at the same moment on Evaluate Market, it says there's 1,000 remaining. So I don't know if that means that 90 of them got burned, because also in here it doesn't say how many of these were burned. But that's kind of what I inferred from Evaluate Market and the actual platform, with that 90 difference in discrepancy here. So burning those to get some money back on the pack was pretty cool, and it was just a $14 loss. Instead, I mean, you could have pulled these 3 right here and it would have been $12. So instead of pulling these 3, you could burn them and essentially get $23 back. I guess even more after fees on sales, but a lot of $4 moments in here. And then if we actually come to just the most expensive common, it was Gronkowski here for $30. So if you pulled 3 commons, you basically had to pull a Gronkowski to make the pack worth it and not want to burn them. And then if you got a rare, obviously you're not going to burn, because the cheapest rare is $35, which equals the amount that you burn it, plus you got 2 other moments, so you wouldn't want to do that. But for people that pulled 3 commons that weren't a Gronkowski, likely they burned it. So it was pretty cool to see that feature roll out. And now let's get into this Twitter thread that I thought was pretty good from Dave Feldman here. Again, in the beginning of the video, I said he's the SVP of marketing at Dapper Labs, which is Top Shot All Day, UFC Strike, and Flow. And he used to work at the NFL and MLB, apparently. And this thread was right here from June 4th, so 9 days ago, I guess now. But he answered some really good questions in here, so we're going to go through some of these answers. So the first question here is, will there be a fantasy aspect to the product? And he said that there will be challenges, including burn challenges tied to live game action. It's going to be a core part of NFL all day. So we all knew a fantasy aspect was coming to this, so definitely going to be a lot of challenges, but burn challenges as well, which is good to see that they're going to keep burning with NFL all day. So I thought that was pretty cool and interesting to see. And another interesting question was about pack prices. So this guy asked if you expect pack prices to drop because they're pretty high, as we see, and there's a ton of debut moments also, so it made it bearable, which is somewhat true, but even a lot of packs weren't worth it with debuts. But next season there's going to be less debuts, so asking about the pack prices, and he basically said he doesn't know, so an honest answer here. So that's good to not kind of commit to anything, but he said that they will test out different price points on packs. So that's good to hear that you could see some lower packs than $49 for base moments, which obviously with NBA Top Shot, they're only $9 for a base set pack. So pretty crazy that they're $49, but also you don't have the chance to pull rares or legendaries with Top Shot. So that's another aspect of it too there. Another question was about releasing a roadmap for Series 2, similarly what they did to Series 3 for NBA Top Shot, even though they ended up not following that roadmap for Series 3 at all. But they changed it, I guess, for the better. But so he said they're definitely going to have a detailed Series 2 roadmap before launch of Series 2, and it's going to give as much guidance and information as possible, but maintain flexibility because they don't know what's going to happen with the market and demand and all of that. This guy here asked about selling sealed packs on NFL All Day when you're out of beta, which I kind of wish he didn't add the last part of being out of beta, because Top Shot has been in beta for the entirety of the platform, and All Day obviously released after that. But he said they're 100% still on our roadmap here, but doesn't know if it's going to be ready for kickoff this season, and they have a lot more to build. This person asked if any plans for on-air advertisements during games or pre-games, and he said they have 3 months to game action, so hard to say, but he thinks it is a possibility, which is interesting. And then this one I thought was pretty interesting, which has to do with what we just talked about with burning moments. So this guy said he's a buyer who mainly focuses on rare, tier, and above moments. And he asked if burning these common moments are going to hurt the value of rare moments, essentially. So that's a pretty good point that I didn't think about, because some moments, I think someone later in here says that the rares are minted out of 1,200, some of them. And we do have some commons if we come to the platform and look. I know the historic set, like you can see here, has a common minted out of just 4,000 in the historic set. And if you burn half of these, you're getting really close to the same mint count as a rare. But I would guess that there are going to have rare moments being burned as well, so you could also change the mint count of that essentially. But from 4,000 to 1,200, if you burn a lot of the common moments, there is getting close to rare value. So good question and point on there. And his answer basically was hard to say. He doesn't really know. But they'll be checking that one out. So not a super intuitive answer on that one, but a good point he brought up. And then this guy said any plans to improve the My Collections section. He would like to be able to search for moments, to group moments, and then progress in sets. So you can't do a lot with My Collection right now. He just said yep as an answer. So I don't know if all of that is coming, but at least some of it. And for all you guys that have NFL NFT coins, he asked if you could bring those to All Day, and he said yes, it's a big priority for us in the next month or so. So another interesting thing about the aspect of the fantasy football is he's wondering if there's going to be challenges where you have to lock in players in moments before the games start, and then essentially just add up those fantasy points, I guess, like you would do for a normal fantasy, like on DraftKings for daily fantasy. So he said absolutely, definitely something we were planning for. So that's awesome to hear for the fantasy aspect, not just challenges after the games are done, but locking them in before the games start. So more like real fantasy football. So I think that was a pretty good question and answer as well there that I was stoked on. So if you guys want to follow him, he's a pretty good follow, and obviously has a lot to do with Dapper, NBA Top Shot, and NFL All Day. Follow him at DB Feld here. And also, if you want to follow me, I am at Best Dunks right here. So I'll put my Twitter down below, as well as that other burning video on Top Shot. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, a little bit about burning on NFL All Day, and then also some pretty good answers we got from that SVP Dave Feldman at Dapper Labs on some NFL All Day stuff. So if you enjoyed this one, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in another video.